Hey there, boils and ghouls. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. Yeah, sorry, been away for a little bit. Just not much really going on. Just working, coming home. Working, coming home. That all that fun stuff. Did get a couple of things in though. Just a couple of things I wanted to show you. Yeah, if you guys remember, just a little while ago, I did the video where I showed off, the Bay of Blood 4K, collector's edition that I got from Severn. Well, as it turns out, this is one of the reasons why usually when they're going to do their collector's editions, I usually just order it from the website because should anything happen to it, then yeah, I don't really have to do much of anything. I just kick back and wait, and yeah, it gets brought to their attention that there's an issue with one of the discs, and then I just wait. They fix the issue and get the replacement disc, and that's what happened. So I got in my replacement disc. This is the Italian version of Bay of Blood, original Italian version and Italian re-release. Bay of Blood, Twitch of the Death Nerve, whatever you want to call it, Carnage, Yeah, it turned out that the Italian edition Blu-ray, people were reporting that it skipped and had issues with it and stuff like that. And so, sure enough, word got back to Severn. They got to work, so now I got my replacement disc in, so it's nice to get that. So yeah, that's usually why, if they're going to have those big collector's editions and stuff coming out. I mean, I know eventually, they'll recall a bunch of stuff and put in the right discs, and then, they'll, put it out. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why usually I just order directly from them. And so that way, in case if there is something that goes wrong with the discs, I just, okay, there's a problem. All I have to do is sit back and wait for my replacement disc to come in. So, I mean, I get it. I do get it. It's like, well, they put this stuff out, like they should, quality control and check all this stuff before they put it out. I get it. I agree with that, but still, I just, I do appreciate the fact, I've said it many times before, I do appreciate the fact, though, that, like when an issue like this comes up, they take responsibility and they work towards fixing it. And Vinegar Syndrome does the same thing. That was one thing a lot of people, I've heard people talk about in videos and stuff, talking about they have problems with as far as like Scream Factory was concerned. That, yeah, that they were talking about, they had issues with discs. I remember like back when the Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set first came out and people were having issues with the discs and stuff like that. And, says like, trying to get their customer service to do anything about it was like pulling teeth, so at least it's nice that, like if, something these other companies like, I think Arrow does the same thing, but like Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Severn or something, hey, there's a problem with one of the discs. Like, okay, we'll get to work on it and, we'll check it out, fix the problem, and then we'll send you a replacement disc. So that's cool. So anyway, moving on, got a couple other things here to show you. I picked up the new Rob Zombie CD, The Great Satan. Really nice. Nice that we got a new Rob Zombie CD, new album. I am hoping maybe within the next year or so, maybe we can... I know some people will be like, why the hell would you want that? But I am kind of hoping maybe in the next year or so we might get a new Rob Zombie movie. Sure would be nice to think so. I think there would be enough. I could be wrong, but I think there would be enough support out there that, like if he decided to do like what he did with like 31 and 3 from Hell, where if he decided to do like another Kickstarter to finance another movie, I'm sure there would be enough support and interest, people would invest. So I think he could do another movie. Sadly, unfortunately, like, he did his Monsters movie here, several years ago. And I think that just really, really hurt, him as far as like just his filmmaking career and stuff like that when, that movie just, didn't do well at all. Just really didn't make much money. A lot of fans of the original, Monsters just were not interested in his take on it and everything else. I personally like the movie. You know, I do think, I think for the most part he got a lot of, he got a lot of, stuff right. Did a great job, and all that. And I can kind of get why some people didn't really appreciate the way he approached, his filmmaking style as far as like making that movie. He made it look a little too corny and stuff like that, but still, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It was definitely like nice to see him do something different. Something that wasn't just white trash, redneck, Chainsaw Massacre wannabe killers and stuff like that. He tried to make a family movie, and I mean, he really stepped out of his comfort zone. And so I mean, I didn't mind the movie. I mean, of course, like if I want a Munsters fix, of course I'm going to put on the show. But if I was going to watch the movie, I'm not going to cry about it. It's not going to bother me too much. I mean, I understand if some people don't like it, and stuff. But, so anyway, so yeah, but anyway, we do got the new Rob Zombie album. And I know I could have picked this up on vinyl, but, just, I can't help it. I have all of his albums on CD. And, I've been uploading more of my albums and stuff to my laptop and everything. And I want this to, I want the CD to be in with my CD collection. I want this to be on my laptop to go along with all my other Rob Zombie albums. So that's why I just splurged for the CD. Well, I didn't splurge, but yeah, I got this at the record store. It was $14.99, but after bonus points, only paid about $7.50 for it. So definitely not a bad deal. Let's see here. There are 15 tracks on here. Number 1 is FTW 84. Number 2 is Tarantula. 3, I'm a Rock and Roller. 4, Heathen Days. 5, Who Am I? 6, Black Rat Coffin. 7, Sir Lord Acid Wolfman. 8, Punks and Demons. 9, The Devil Man. 10, Out of Sight. 11, Revolution Mother, 12, Welcome to the Electric Age. 13, The Black Scorpion. 14, Unclean Animals. And 15, Grave Discontent. So here we go. There's the front. And there's the back. So pull this out. And, got the nice little slip cover there that goes with it. And there's a CD, Rob on the back there. So yeah, it's nice to have that, even if it is CD, it's nice to have a new Rob Zombie album and get to put this on my computer here soon with all my other Rob Zombie albums. So, but I mean, obviously, of course, I'm going to keep the disc, obviously, That's the inside, and then you got your, come on. There we go. And it's, I mean, if you've bought Rob Zombie's, albums before, you pretty much know what you're going to get. A lot of it is kind of like picture collages, and, it's got the liner notes, and, got the, got the the lyrics and stuff, just kind of different, him doing his drawings and illustrations and things like that, and everything else. Pictures of him performing, pictures of the band, everything else. So yeah, so I mean, it's a Rob Zombie CD, so you know what you're gonna get with it if you bought any of his stuff before. Nothing against his new guitarist or anything like that. Yeah, just kind of it's just kind of a bummer that he and John Five parted ways. It's kind of sad. Seemed like for a long time there, the two of them were thick as thieves. Like you thought these two were going to be playing together forever. So kind of really is a sad state of affairs that it didn't work out between the two of them. But I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but if you're a fan of Rob Zombie's albums, and you're one thing I always love, I love getting that Sherry Moon ass pick. Where is that in there? It's not in here. Okay. She may be like, I'm getting too old for that. I don't know, but yeah. So if you're going into this, hoping for that nice, like bare butt picture of Sherry Moon, like you're used to seeing in the old days, yeah, you're not going to get it with this one. So, another song called Devil Man. I was like, he's got that one. Devil Man, Devil Man. Anyway, sorry, I know. I'm going to get to it. We're almost done here. There is a picture of Sherry. That's, sorry, but that's about as good as you're going to get. So, oh yeah. So if you're hoping for the Sherry Moon butt picture, yeah, not in this one. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, so that's Rob Zombie's new album, The Great Satan. And yeah, I know maybe I'm in the minority, maybe not, but yeah, I am really hoping that maybe within another year or two or something, maybe things can kind of work out. He can get another movie project off the ground. I hope that happens. So I know it's kind of you're kind of breathing rarefied air if you're actually a fan of Rob Zombie's movies, but anyway. So, there we go. So really nice to have it. I know I probably would have looked a little more sleek if I gotten the vinyl instead of the CD, but like I said, I have all of his albums on CD and I have them all loaded onto my laptop and stuff. I kind of want to keep things uniform. Picked this up, got a really good deal for this. You guys know that I've been trying to rebuild my Mystery Science Theater sets and trying to update my old DVDs with nicer, newer copies. So I found this one here, and this one, I was scared at first. I thought maybe I had this one already. Turns out I don't. This one is volume 29, and this one comes with, this one comes with Untamed Youth, Hercules and the Captive Women, The Thing That Couldn't Die, and The Puma Man. The Puma Man, that one, oh boy, that movie's a trip. You got Donald Sutherland, I think, or not Donald Sutherland. Donald Pleasance plays the bad guy in that one. The Thing That Couldn't Die, that's an old Universal movie. It's kind of silly, It's like the one part that really gets me, cracks me up is the joke where the two women, they're like, we're scared, we should, sleep in the same room together and all this stuff. And it's like one of the women is laying in bed, the other one's taking off her nightgown, and she takes off she's taking off like her robe. She got the nightgown underneath. They're, yes, cha 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 cha. Like to see two beautiful women getting into bed together. You get the idea. But anyway, so yeah, nice to get this one here and upgrade. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a while now, like wanting to upgrade all my Mystery Science Theaters up to nicer, newer, brand new. Well, not brand new, but nicer, newer, better copies, so here we go. So we got that. Last but not least, I know I said I was going to be holding back on getting the collector's editions and stuff like that. Kind of probably going to have to do a little bit more, standard editions and stuff. I know I said that, but when I came across this, I just could not resist, and I couldn't help it. I just felt like I had to have it. We got the nice box collector's edition of Duel, Steven Spielberg's first movie, television movie from the 70s. Not really the best lenticular cover on there, but, it's like, yeah. But anyway, I came across this, and I just could not pass it up. This is one, I don't know why, for the long, I guess maybe, everything happens for a reason, but this is one, like, for a long time, I've just been hesitating to get Duel on 4K, and I just got, don't think I need it, and stuff like that, and I saw this, and it's like, maybe it was all leading up to this, I don't know. This is a limited edition, though. I got number 223 of 3,000, and it is a steel book. And we're going to go ahead and look at it. Unfortunately, it's kind of it's not the rigid hard box. You see it's cardboard. But, I mean, it is nice. But, yeah, I'm going to have to kind of be a little bit delicate with it. And we got you could tell, though, this is definitely an import. Because I noticed this, we got the steel book. and we got the bag there. However, when you open it up, you only got the 4K disc. There's no Blu-ray in there. I'm not going to cry about it, you know. I mean, I don't, I'll be fine without the Blu-ray and stuff, you know. I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have it, but to have it go with it, but this movie is freaking phenomenal. If you haven't seen this movie, I recommend, definitely watch it. Spielberg's his first movie, his first television movie. Dennis Weaver is great in here. The atmosphere, the soundtrack, Richard Matheson's screenplay, everything about this movie works. And, I think that was part of a lot of it too, was just that I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about this, being a 70s movie, TV movie in 4K and all that. My God, this looks amazing. I know we got Salem's Lot coming out at the end of the month. I pray that, the 4K for Salem's Lot will look as good as this one. This looks stunning. It's like, holy cow, they did a great job with this, And I do notice they do tend to do this sometimes with these, these overseas, import editions, because my Halloween trilogy, that's what that is, it's an import, and that one is just 4K only. That one doesn't have the Blu-rays with it. But even still, though, look at that. That's a beautiful steelbook, gorgeous, great condition, So, I mean, I know, like I said, I was going to try to, just go for more like standard editions and stuff, but man, I saw this and I got it for a great price too, and I just could not pass it up. I had to get it. There's your little mini poster there. Really, really good movie. So I think I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's not bloody, and there's the other side of the cards. That's on all of them, but it's not bloody or gory, but what this movie lacks in blood and gore definitely makes up for in terror and suspense. Like, you will feel pretty uncomfortable throughout the entire film. So there's one of the cards. I know some people, I don't give a rat's ass about the card. I'm just showing them, in case somebody does want to see them, But, like I said, yeah, what this movie lacks in blood and gore and stuff like that makes up for in atmosphere and suspense and tension. And oh shit, I shouldn't have showed that, man. If you haven't seen the movie, that gives it away. There's Dennis Weaver there. There he is. I can't help but wonder, I don't know, I just now thought of this. I wonder if like this movie kind of gave, Stephen King inspiration for Maximum Overdrive. Not sure. No, we'll fix that. Okay, this is a little bit tricky. It says here storyboards, but if you watch the bonus features, what ended up happening was that Spielberg had to shoot the movie in 10 days. And he couldn't shoot it all in 10 days. He wound up doing it in 12 days. And then later on, after the movie was a success on television, they had him go out and shoot, a few minutes of extra footage to get it to 90 minutes because overseas they wanted to do it as a theatrical film. Well, when he did the movie, first of all, there's this artwork here, which, if you just notice, it's exactly the same artwork as what I showed in what's on the inside of the steelbook, right? But what Spielberg did, like he knew he had very little time to make the movie, and so what he did was he did kind of like an overhead map, and he used this, and this kind of helped him stay in continuity. And he was like, okay, we're going to be filming in this area, and this is the scene we're going to be doing, and all this kind of stuff. And so on the other side, that's what you got here, is you got the map there. Sorry, just kind of awkward place to show it, but yeah, this is a reconstruction of the map that Spielberg used to basically storyboard the movie, because he only had 10 days to get the movie done, and he still didn't get it done. He got it done in 12. And then, like I said, the movie was a huge hit. But, when it aired on TV, I think they said it was only like 74 minutes or something like that. So he had to go out and shoot like an extra 15 minutes for to get it to feature length so they could show in theaters. But so anyway, so yeah. But yeah, this movie is amazing. If you've never seen this movie, check out Duel. It's great. You see like, Spielberg, like just, seeing him, beginning his, movie making career. And, this movie definitely helped him get, Sugarland Express, which then led to him getting Jaws, and then on and on and on. Close Encounters, Indiana Jones, all that stuff, it's like, so yeah, so, definitely definitely a good movie. Not a weak beginning for, the man who would give us like Jurassic Park and everything else. I am curious about his new movie, Disclosure Day. That looks like that could be pretty interesting. Sci-fi action, looks like it's gonna be a summer blockbuster, and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm here for it. As long as it's good, as long as it's, good story, it's entertaining, everything else, great characters, all that kind of stuff. We get what we want from a Spielberg, summer popcorn flick. Yeah, why not? I don't see the harm. But anyway, so yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this one. The collector's edition of Duel. Like I said, I couldn't help it. Like this was just too beautiful to pass up. And yeah, I just had to have it. It also goes nice, really, too, because, like if you'd seen, like way back, I do have the collector's edition for E.T. I'm looking at it right now. I got a collector's edition for Jaws. I got one for Schindler's List. I would love to see if I could maybe find some more of his, It's like, man, how cool would it be to get a nice collector's edition of Saving Private Ryan? That'd be awesome. And some of his other movies, too, but. Anyway, yeah, I missed out. Yeah, I know there was one for his War of the Worlds. I missed out on that one. Sorry, but anywho, maybe one day, maybe I'll come across it and get a good deal on it like I did on this. So I think it's about time to wrap up this video. So we got this one here, Duel on 4K Steelbook Collector's Edition. Mystery Science Theater, Volume 29. And again, Untamed Youth, Hercules, The Captive Women, The Thing That Couldn't Die, and The Puma Man. And Rob Zombie's new album, The Great Satan. Really cool. And got my replacement disc for Bay of Blood for the Italian version Blu-ray. So anyway, so that's it. That's pretty much everything I've been up to and pretty much everything that's going on. So that's going to wrap it up. So if anybody took the time to watch all of this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you mind giving a like? And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Do all that fun stuff, us YouTubers are always saying, doing, ring the bell, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And, yeah, I think that's it. So, take care, everybody. Love your movie library. It will love you back. And, there you go. Have a good night, everybody. See you all later. Bye.